As we get closer to the year end, the clock is ticking and so is our patience. A few aldermen stepped up to the plate to speak. What is the root of Chicago's problem? Let's go.
Our next speaker this morning is Amy Masters.
Good morning, Mayor Johnson and members of the council. My name is Amy Masters, and I'm with the Building Owners and Managers Association of Chicago, or BOMA Chicago. We represent about 240 large office buildings in the city of Chicago. I want to speak to two narratives that have taken hold about the alternative budget. One is about the unpaid debts owed to the city, and the other is about the head tax. First, the debt. We keep hearing arguments about who can't pay, but we're talking about $8 billion of unpaid debt. And the alternative budget only aims to collect an additional $90 million, a tiny fraction of that amount. Many individuals and businesses that owe money can afford to pay. No one wants to burden people facing real hardship, but those who can pay their debts should. And if the city doesn't collect what's owed, then why do we charge these fees in the first place? And are we telling people, even those who can pay, that paying fees is optional? Now the tax on jobs. There's been a lot of rhetoric suggesting that this is a tax on the ultra wealthy. If the goal is to tax the rich, that requires a graduated income tax, and that authority rests with the state, not with the city. What the head tax actually does is tax jobs. For select companies, it's a tax on each employee who works in Chicago at least 3 days a week, whether that employee earns $40,000 or $400,000. And while the tax has been characterized as being small, it's just one more reason for employers to think twice about keeping their employees working downtown, keeping their business in the city, and even moving here in the first place. Compared to cities across the nation, Chicago tops the list in all the wrong categories. We have the highest property tax.
I would ask that the chamber remain under decorum. Sergeant at Arms, continue to make sure that individuals who are in this chamber respect those individuals' time to speak, please.
Thank you. We have the highest commercial property tax. We have the highest personal property lease tax, and that's before it gets increased with this budget. We have one of the highest sales tax in the nation, and we have one of the highest pension liabilities. Adding a tax on jobs on top of that doesn't make Chicago more competitive. It doesn't attract employers, and it doesn't make them want to stay. And it doesn't create jobs. It does just the opposite. It is a tax on jobs. While we're very aware that businesses are taking on the vast majority of these new budget costs, paying more than 80% of the fees and taxes in this budget, this budget is the best alternative. We know it isn't perfect, and it is the best option we have. We all recognize the fiscal pressures confronting our city today, and a government shutdown would only intensify those challenges, making support today all the more essential. We urge the council to support this alternative budget that protects jobs and positions Chicago to grow. Thank you.
The chair recognizes Alderman Beale.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, let me just say, I wasn't going to speak today because I'm, suffering with a little bit of bronchitis, but after hearing the rhetoric, I was just compelled to stand and just say a few things, just a few, not much, just a few. But before I start, let me just say this alternative budget was nothing short of amazing. And I'm extremely proud of the group that has led this alternative budget that was led by a group of women. And I think we need to give Alderman Dow, Alderman Haddon, and Alderman Lee a round of applause for pulling off the inevitable. And Nugent, I'm sorry. Nugent. So as we attack people, just understand we're attacking a woman-led movement in this council. So let me just move on from there. Now, I'm also amazed that people are saying the budget ain't balanced. I think my last two speeches, I rose and said, the budget wasn't balanced, this budget wasn't balanced, and the budget wasn't balanced. But nobody said a word, but they went down and voted yes anyway. And when we're talking about being back here in June, I said we'd be back here in April, and I think we were back here in April. But you still voted for an unbalanced budget anyway. So let me say, when we talk about budgets, all budgets are projections. Up and down, up and down. Some come in high, some come in low. And so the thing is, when we pass a budget, it is the responsibility of the executive branch to carry out the budget we pass. So if this budget comes in high or low, it's what? The fact that the executive branch didn't carry out the budget that we passed. Now, so let me just go on a little bit. So last year, we sat in this very seat and we said over and over again to the budget director, is the money for the fire contract in the budget? Oh, yes, it's in the budget. We've set that money aside. That money's in the budget. Now we found out that the money was spent and now we're borrowing to pay for the fire contract. So let me just say, if we're talking about transparency and being forthright, did they come to us and say, Alderman, we have a financial problem. We need to spend the fire money that we set aside? No, they didn't. They spent it and came back and lied to us on why they had to spend it. So who are we going to put faith in? Now, the same administration told us last year that we would not be downgraded because of the budget. We were downgraded almost immediately after passing the budget. Now we're concerned about downgrades. We're concerned about downgrades now. Well, I'm going to tell you this. The downgrade is going because we did not pay the full pension payment. The downgrade is because, once again, we're bailing out CPS with $1 billion TIF suite. Okay? Now, let me tell y'all something about the TIF suite. When you look around and don't have money for the projects in your ward, it's because of the TIF suite. Okay? If we look at all the money that has spent over the years with these TIF suites, we could have redeveloped just about every ward in this city. Okay? And so let me just tell you this. And I don't know if you all saw the TIF sheet, but the TIF sheet in the 9th Ward says 0 TIF suite. Why did the 9th Ward have a 0 TIF suite? Because I spend every dime that comes in it. And spending that money, I've created over 2,000 jobs and over $2 billion in public-private investment because we had that TIF money to leverage to redevelop my ward. So we're taking that tool away from us. So I encourage you all to spend your TIF money. Find projects to spend your TIF money. That way you can redevelop all the wards in the city. And I'm blessed, just like Walter's daddy was blessed to be in a position to leverage TIF money to redevelop certain wards. So now, when you look at these last two budgets, over and over again, we were lied to about what's in these budgets. The fact that we are trying to diminish a woman-led movement really troubles me, because we have had financial experts and former CEOs, CFOs, budget directors that helped us craft this budget. So you all are undermining just about everybody in the past that sat in the budget chair or the CFO's office or financial experts. We're saying that they don't matter, but the administration has all the right answers. Now, some of you all just sat up and listened to somebody say something about, we don't get the right information. We don't get the right information. We get what they want to give us. And I think now you all see why we push so hard to have our own financial analysis department, our own legal department, our own parliamentarian that you all voted down. Hopefully, Alderman Vasquez is now trying to, see the light that we need to put these things in place. So we're gonna see if we can work to make that happen. Now, some people brought up VGTs. My. We brought up VGTs. Let me just say the same people that's saying we don't want VGTs want hemp in their ward that's harming kids every single day. Every single day. And they voted to keep hemp in their wards. They want hemp. Give me hemp that's harming kids. But VGTs could possibly save the lifeline of some of the businesses in your ward because we have an underperforming casino that may or may not be built in 27, 28, who knows. And when in a time we need revenue, if you don't want video gaming, put an ordinance in like we did with hemp and say, I don't want video gaming. That's what the legislative process is all about. If you don't want it, you don't have to take it. But I tell you one thing, if you ask any alderman that has on the border of the city, if they want VGTs, because everything is going across the street, I bet you they want it. Because all the businesses just locate right across the street. Now, when we're trying to discredit the amount of money for VGTs, that was a very conservative number. Once VGTs is up and operational, it could bring us between $65 and $100 million a year. That's a lot of money. I don't see Bally's bringing that kind of money into the city. And so it's a choice. Just like the liquor tax, it's a choice. Now, once VGTs is passed, then people can maybe hire 2 or 3 more people in their ward in those businesses to create more synergy, more mom and pop businesses. That's the lifeline of the city. Now, when we talk about property taxes, let me just say, the reason people property taxes are going up is because downtown is empty. And why is downtown empty? Because we're not doing enough to create the jobs to go back downtown. We're not bringing big businesses into the city to create a downtown that we all were once proud of. And so now that downtown is empty, all those businesses are going in, getting tax reductions, and that money is being spread out to the community. The same people who are fighting to not have their taxes up are the same people fighting to keep big businesses out. We have to create a synergy in this city to bring businesses back into this city. Businesses are the ones that make this city grow. We have to grow jobs and opportunity. We can't keep hitting businesses over the head saying, don't come to Chicago. That's what Bring Home Chicago did. That's why it failed. That's why when you look at this head tax, that's why it's gonna fail. Now, one thing I'm gonna tell y'all, be real cautious. Everything that's being pushed has a $100 million tag to it. Whether it be the head tax, $100 million. Bring Home Chicago, $100 million. What is this $100 million, Mark, that we keep trying to hit? What's it really for? Now, when we talk about what the head tax was supposed to be for, don't be confused. If you look at everything that was there, it was being moved out of one line, put into another to force all of us to say, oh, I don't want to be against public safety. I don't want to be against this. So they were trying to put us in a corner to vote for the head tax. Well, we're not going to be put into a corner. We're going to continue to grow this coalition. We're going to continue to move forward with what we need to do to grow this city. And I think we are headed in the right direction. Now, I'm going to say, I haven't voted for a budget in 6 years. In 6 years, I haven't voted for a budget because I have fundamentally disagreed with what was being put in front of us. Now, I've been down here for 27 years, going on 28. I think I know a little bit about budgets. So I'm gonna just tell you this. This budget, it ain't perfect, but we wanna pick and choose what we wanna fight and what we don't wanna fight. But the same things you all are saying you're against, you voted for the last 2. So pick your lane. Pick your lane, which one you want to be in. So again, I want to thank my colleagues for leading this movement. This was a collective movement. Nobody was shut out. We tried to bring everybody in. So I've never seen a movement quite like this in my 27, 28 years, where people were actually being able to sit down at the table and work their issues out, whether you agree or disagree. This coalition was listening to everybody. So knowing that we listen to everybody, we're going to continue to listen to everybody, because once this budget is passed, we want to continue to work with everybody to make sure that we don't have a government shutdown. We want to work with everybody to bring your ideas into the table. So right now, I'm going to tell you, I'm extremely proud to stand up and say, I am voting for the alternative budget. Thank you so much, Mr. President.
Alderman Gardiner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I proudly stand with my colleague. I heard Alderman Fuentes from the 26th Ward talking about the negative effects of gambling, and I wholeheartedly agree with her. I thought she made some excellent points, and I want to talk about how gambling disproportionately impacts Black and brown communities. It also impacts white communities, but that's not as important. It impacts working families, as you guys know, AKA that's a new term for Black and brown communities. It's gambling that got us here. It's gambling that got us to a $1.2 billion deficit. And we can blame maybe introducing or not introducing a head tax or debt collection or racism. The gamble that got us here today is the gamble that we made on migrants. Or, excuse me, yeah, I will.
Okay, just a second, Mr. Alderman Gardner. All right, those of you who continue to make outbursts, I'm going to ask that the Sergeant at Arms put you in a timeout. I'm going to try my best to give people, this is an important time in our city's history. I want everybody to be engaged. I really do. But you're going to have to respect just the decorum here. That's all. All right. All right.
You ever notice when you start touching upon something that's a little sensitive, people start getting riled up? It's because you're on a nerve. You're actually touching.
Alderman Gardner, thank you.
Yes.
Just continue to direct them.
Oh, yeah, I'm talking to you as
All
well.
right, thank you.
So getting back to what I was saying, the gamble that we made was on migrants or newcomers or Venezuelan nationalists or residents here illegally. Oh, yeah, I do. That's a good point. That's right.
Thank you. Thank you, Sergeant at Arms. Okay, thank you all. All right, Mr. Gardner, I'm listening, sir.
No one is hated more than he who speaks the truth. I want to be clear. I don't blame the migrants for coming here. We left a trail for them to come. I don't hate on immigrants. My parents are immigrants to this country. I'm a first-generation American. I don't hate on any of these people who came here. They had no choice. But we left a trail for them to come. We gave them over $1 billion to come here. We invited them with free food, free clothing, free rent, free education. That's why we're here today. Yeah. We can keep talking about whatever head tax and gambling is bad and all this other stuff. We made the gamble. We gambled on the migrants and we lost. We put over $1 billion into people who've never paid a nickel into the system. Meanwhile, we told the black community, wait your turn. With my colleague, I heard Alderman Fuentes from the 26th Ward talking about the negative effects of gambling, and I wholeheartedly agree with her. I thought she made some excellent points, and I want to talk about how gambling disproportionately impacts black and brown communities. It also impacts white communities, but that's not as important. It impacts working families, as you guys know, aka it's a new term for black and brown communities. It's gambling that got us here. It's gambling that got us to a $1.2 billion deficit. And we can blame maybe introducing or not introducing a head tax, or debt collection, or racism. The gamble that got us here today is the gamble that we made on migrants.
Yes! Woo! Yes! Say it! Say it! Yes, yes, yes! Speak! 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 Illegal!
Start again, Mr. Gardiner. Stop shaking people down for pride.
How black are you?
Arm her.
Everyone, please keep it down.
Put her out.
Thank you.
Y'all put them out.
Tell her to shut up.
Say it again, Mr. Gardiner, so people back to you. Right. Keep on the numbers. It's over. It's over.
The sergeant at arms put you in timeout. In front of that.
Time out.
Give people, this is an important time in our city's history. I want everybody to be engaged, really do.
Let them speak.
You gotta have to respect
Let them speak.
this decorum here.
Tell the truth. Shame the devil.
You ever notice when you start touching upon something that's a little sensitive, people start getting riled up?
Uh-huh.
Because you're on a nerve, you're actually touching
Alderman Gardner, you guys just continue to direct.
Oh, yeah, I'm talking to you as well.
Okay. He talking to you.
So getting back to what I was saying, the
That's
gamble
what
that
I'm
we
saying.
made is on migrants
That's
or
what I'm
newcomers or
saying.
Venezuelan
That's what
nationalists
I'm saying.
or residents here illegally.
Uh-huh.
You should know about that.
Oh, yeah, I do.
You don't have no affordable housing.
Get her out.
Why she still talking?
Get her out.
Get some affordable housing.
Send her to the corner. Get her out.
Time out.
Paid and bought by Mark. Sir.
With Herman Lopez.
No one is hated more than he who speaks the truth.
I pop my fingers all I want to. Don't you try me. Prosperity.
I want to be
Prosperity.
clear, I don't blame the migrants for coming here. We left the trail for them to come. I don't hate on my immigrants. My parents are immigrants to this country. I'm a first-generation American.
Legal
I don't hate on any
immigrants.
of these people who came here. They had no choice. But we left
They
the
had a
trail for
choice.
them to come. We
Now, they
gave
had a
them
choice.
over $1 billion to come here.
Yep.
We invited them with free food, free clothing, free rent, free
Yep.
education.
Yep.
That's why we're here today.
Yes.
We keep talking about whatever head tax, gambling is bad, and all this other stuff. We made the gamble. We gambled on the migrants and we lost. We put over $1 billion into people who never paid a nickel.
That's right now.
Yes. Yes.
Meanwhile, we told the black community, wait your turn.
Woo! Woo! Yo! Boom! Yes, you did. Yes.
What happened to the budget for Black Lives United Working Families?
Yeah, remove me. God damn, because he's telling the truth. And I don't care if I'm removed. All of y'all. Yeah, I'll go. I'll go because the rest of this is BS anyway. He's telling the truth. And I don't care. No, you got a problem with us, but you don't have a problem with them. No, I'm coming. I don't give a crap. He said what all I had to say. You want to mess with the black community. Like I care. I'm good with going.
Right this way, Miss Sarge.
Yeah. Make sure I got my bag.
You got everything?
Get my husband to get my stuff. Because
Okay.
I had it.
Okay, I'm sorry you had to leave today.
I'm good.
Okay,
I am good.
okay. I'll see you.
Wait your turn.
Sergeant at Arms, could you remove the people who are making the outburst, please? Can you do that for us now? Thank you. Okay. Please remove those individuals who are making the outburst, please. Okay, we don't have a problem with people speaking their truth. We just don't want you to have outbursts. Sergeant at Arms, could you please remove the outburst, please? Thank you. And those of you who make another outburst, I'm going to ask that the Sergeant at Arms remove you. Just a second, Alderman. We'll give you your chance to continue to speak your truth. Just want some order here. You may continue, sir.
So, again, to get back to what I was saying, we told the black community, wait your turn while we gamble on the migrants. We didn't do it just in the city, we did it throughout the country. We told people, wait your turn. And as I said, we rolled snake eyes, right? We lost that gamble. And now we're sitting here staring down the barrel of a $1.2 billion deficit. Something Alderman Beale, Alderman Lopez, and myself had vehemently argued against for the last several years. Alderman Napolitano as well, strongly condemning the amount of money that we were wasting. Again, I want to emphasize, I do not blame these people who came here for a better opportunity. But again, we left a trail for them to come. We invited them to come. We pushed them to come here. And we still continue to give money, more and more money. And now we're looking, what are we going to do now? What are we going to do now? What do we got to figure out? I commend a lot of the people who spent a lot of time on this alternative budget and the amount of time that you put in it. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. No, it's not. But to Alderman Fuentes' point, I know a bad gambler when I see one. Mayor Johnson, you're a bad gambler. I cannot go with you at all. Fact of the matter is, we have to start making decisions, and I'm glad to see that the city council is starting to take the steering wheel and starting to take responsibility for the future of this city. It's long overdue. So for those reasons, I'll stand with the alternative budget. Thank you.